Not of the beat generation. It was a beat poet who actually got me into doing poetry in the streets, which I've been doing for a long time. It was Lou Welch, who was a friend of Jack Kerouac's. We were drinking in a bar one night, and he said, "Pagan, you know so many poems. Why don't you try going out and passing the hat?" And so I did, and discovered I was making more money doing that than I was as the standby MC at the Lion's Share in Sausalito back in the Summer of Love. My main claim to beat fame is that my dad used to beat up Jack Kerouac regularly when they were children. They were cousins, and my dad was the same age as Gerard, Kerouac's older brother, and the two of them would beat him up when they were like 7 and 5. They tell me that I met Kerouac a couple times at family functions when I was a child, but I don't remember him. I remember his mother, though. His mother was a real bitch. I remember at my grandfather's funeral, I bumped her elbow and spilled her tea in her lap, and she backhanded me over a sofa. She barely spoke English. She talked that du joie, the patois, the Canuck, the French Canadians. Anyway, there's a poem by Lou Welch called Difficulty Along the Way. This was the first poem that my son Jack, not named after him, did when he did it for his preschool interview when he was 3. He couldn't say the title, Difficulty Along the Way. He just called it Flashlight, Flashlight, Flashlight. Seeking perfect, total enlightenment is like looking for your flashlight when all you need your flashlight for is to find your flashlight. Want to hear that again? Seeking perfect, total enlightenment is like looking for your flashlight when all you need your flashlight for is to find your flashlight. The first poem I ever heard about smoking pot was from a beat poet. This is called In a Wicker Basket, Robert Creeley, 1964. In a Wicker Basket. Take it, Ellen. Comes the time when it's later, and onto your table the head waiter puts the bill, and very soon after rings out the sound of lively laughter, picking up change, hands like a walrus, and a face like a barn doors. A head without any apparent size, nothing but 2 eyes. So that's you, man, or me. I make it as I can. I pick up, I go, faster than they know, out the door, down the street like a knife, any night, and no one in sight. But then, there she is. It's my old friend Liz. And she opens the door of her Cadillac. I stepping back. We're gone. She turns me on. There are very huge stars, man, in the sky, and from somewhere far off, someone hands me a slice of apple pie with a gob of white ice cream on top of it. And I eat it slowly. And while certainly they are laughing at me, and while all around me is the racket of these cats not making it, I make it in my wicker basket.
Yeah.
Robert Creed, 1964. Okay, any requests?
Something you've written.
About, well, let's see. As you may know, I am responsible for the Book of Love. I'm not claiming that I wrote the Book of Love. I merely compiled and edited the Book of Love. Well, there is actually a definition of mine in each of the 75 chapters. During the Summer of Love, I realized everybody I met had a different definition for the word. So I collected them, and eventually, in '85, this was published, Book of Love, an encyclopedic lexicon and consulting dictionary of the word love, with over 1,000 definitions divided into 75 categories: love and hate, love and marriage, love and truth, love and beauty, love and illusion. And it's alphabetized within each category with the birth and death date of each author in the back indexed and the source. And anyway, yeah, I wrote the Book of Love. And after I wrote the Book of Love, I realized I knew less than when I started. And so I wrote this. This is a sestina. Take it, Ellen. Don't waste your time studying about love. All that you need to know is locked inside your bones. Anyway, it all comes down to caring. It's how you feel about the rain-red rose, the calm center hid within your secret heart, sun awakened, reflected by the moon. You're better off learning about the moon, how it moves the tides, tells you about love. In darkness, it illuminates the heart, making us all transparent down to our bones. It brings into the light the rain-red rose and exposes the lunacy in not caring. Because that's what it's all about, this caring. You can't just blame it on the moon. That's like saying it's the fault of the rose. We know that it's in our nature to love, the only truth embedded in our bones, the holiness held in our hidden heart. If you don't understand what's in your heart, it's best to err on the side of caring. You can't go wrong if you follow your bones. The path they're strewn along leads to the moon, which is just a reflection of your love that's shone in your eyes since first it rose. Or you may think that you know about the rose and what goes on within her secret heart, but there's much more there than her rain-red love blossoming under your tender caring. It's sped by the rain of the waning moon, nurtured by the marrow inside our bones. Of course, it must all boil down to the bones. Like the sap of the rain red within the rose, the tiding core so deep inside our moon, the holy hold held hidden in her heart, the internal force creating caring, these all are synonymous with our love. Life breaks down bones, but lessons of the heart make perfect the red rose. as in caring for the holy moon, we will learn our love. Now that's one of many moon poems which are available in my book. 12 moon poems, which is an octavo. You know, in Shakespeare's day, they published in folios and quartos. Folios are sheets, and you take them and you fold them once. Quartos, you fold them twice. And octavos are like these neat little things that you fold, so you print the poems so that they're running every which way. And then when you fold it 3 times, they all end up running in the right direction. And you put a string or ribbon around the middle of it, and then you slit the pages, and it turns into a book. This has a poem to the moon in every sign, including that one. And I'm going to do another moon poem for you to finish off. This is called Me and the Moon, or The Moon and I, or something like that.
Both of you.
Take it, Alan. This is Mr. Alan Shearer on the violin. I'm Pagan Neal. On the 16th of the month, we'll be at Dimensions Gallery at Shattuck and Ashby in Berkeley. That's 2 days before we celebrate our 47th anniversary of performing together. The Moon and I, take it on. The moon and I are one, love. Me and the moon. In the valley I kneel. On the hillside I stand. On the mountaintop I raise my arms to heaven, chant your secret name, and invoke the many holy names of Goddess Moon until there is no distance between us. So when you and your new lover lie entwined, the light that on you shines is also mine. It's the moon and I above, love. Me and the moon. Thank you very much. We're Beachhead.